Hey, everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I am your host, Anthony Laredo Duke, and there's a great topic for today's show in which it's the impeachment trial that's in the Senate right now. And so let's get right into that topic. Um, Opening arguments from both sides have already started, and uh, pretty soon the Democrats from the House of Representatives will have about 3 days to uh, to give their testimony. They'll have 3 days in a row for that. After that, the Republicans on the lawyers defending Trump again will have uh, 3 days after the House of Representatives managers, give give their testimony. The attorneys representing Trump will have 3 days to uh, to give their testimony, so that way both sides are heard, right? Which is fair, and then probably and hopefully after that, the Senate, especially on the Republican side, will take a vote on whether or not uh, they want to uh, have witnesses testify, and also to review all the written evidence as well. And to have a fair trial, witnesses need to testify, and of course, evidence, written documentation needs to be provided. That's a proper way of handling things, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't take an Einstein to figure that out. It's not rocket science. And if if the Republicans in the Senate do not agree to have the witnesses testify and for the legal documentation to be proven, okay, if they do not vote to accept those things and go ahead and just acquit Trump, then here's going to be the problem for those Republicans. Kiss their jobs goodbye. Goodbye. Because anyone, anyone with half of a pea brain, because the human brain is only the size of a pea, anybody with half of a pea brain that are the constituents that are in society, the voters, they want, the majority of them want the evidence to be provided and the witnesses to testify. So if the Senate does not allow that, then what the Senate, the Republicans anyhow in the Senate, what they're saying to the people in society is, screw you. We only care about our jobs. And that's it. We don't care what the right thing is. And that's going to come back to haunt them, ladies and gentlemen. It is. Now, for people who say that, oh, if the evidence gets provided and witnesses testify, um, that's just going against Trump and blah, 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 blah. Listen, let things happen, okay? If a person is truly, I mean, truly 100% innocent, then there's no reason why the evidence shouldn't be allowed to be provided into the trial and for the witnesses to testify. They shouldn't uh, have to worry about that. They shouldn't say no to that. Let the evidence be provided. Let the witnesses testify. If you're 100% innocent, you have nothing to worry about then. The only people that ever worry and that don't want evidence to be provided and witnesses to testify are ones that are having to hide something and they're guilty and they don't want it to be brought out into the open. They don't want to get caught. So let's just do the right thing and have the witnesses testify and have the evidence, the written documentation be provided. You owe that to the United States citizens. Seriously. And that way you can have a proper trial. And I'm not saying that it has to take long. No one's going to say it's going to all be dragged out and for months and months. No, 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 no. Listen, you have 3 days for the Democrats from the House of Representatives to stipulate that case. After that, you got another 3 days for the lawyers representing Trump to state their case. And if you allow witnesses to testify and documents to be proven, that only takes about a couple of days each, really, maybe a week each. So maybe 2 more weeks, maybe 2 extra weeks. That's it. That's it. Not months and months and months. 2 weeks extra tops. So you're talking maybe a total of 3 weeks, let's say, tops. That is not long at all, ladies and gentlemen. That is not long at all. And then after that, you have the vote to whether to convict Trump and remove him from office or whatever. And then after that, candidates, you know, Democratic candidates and whomever can go back on the political trail again, and those that are running for presidency within a month, they can go right back. Not long at all. Not long at all. There's plenty of time for them afterwards of that to uh to hit the trail again and you know reach out to the people for the votes and whatever else have you. And not even say that it's going to be a full 3 weeks because with these new rules that that McConnell has for the trial of with the 12 hours thing and whatever, it may not even be 3 weeks. Might be less than that, or who knows? But in reality of everything, ladies and gentlemen, the maximum, really, if you think about it, anybody would, the smallest bit of intelligence would realize that it would not take any more than 3 weeks to really resolve everything. It really wouldn't. It really wouldn't. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So, anyways, I wanted to remind everybody about my business, my website, which is Advocate Information Highway, and the link to there is awldny.com. And you guys can check out all 7 pages on there. And since in all of my prior episodes I discussed about what's on each page and whatever, um, I'm not going to do that on today's show because people have been asking me to discuss in basic detail what my 2 books are about. And um, and I'll tell you right now, my first book, which is called Let's Talk About It. Okay, the first section Okay. First section is about animal rights. The second section is about LGBT rights. The third section is about rights for people with disabilities. Fourth section is, when I say sections, I mean basically chapters. The fourth section is how to deal with government agencies. The fifth chapter is how to get politicians to work for you. The sixth section, the sixth chapter is how to get proper health coverage and providers. The seventh chapter is about how to deal with providers that do not do their jobs properly. The eighth chapter is medications, money for doctors, hospitals, and pharmacists. And the final chapter, the ninth section, is building up the body and mind. That's in the first book called Let's Talk About It. In my second book called Let's Talk About It More, the first chapter is about entertainment. The second section, the second chapter is about education. The third chapter is about business. The fourth chapter is about women's rights. The the fifth chapter is about immigration reform. The sixth chapter, sixth section is about housing. The seventh section is about economy. And I go into a brief detail about each one of these sections I just mentioned because I've done work in every single one of these sections. And I give detail about my experiences in each one of these sections, and you guys could check it out because that may help you if you're going through similar situations or problems with, So you guys can check out both books, uh, and they're both on Amazon. Okay, so you guys can check them out and purchase each book. And I hope to speak to everybody again tomorrow, which is Friday, January 24th for Disabled Reality. And I hope to speak to everybody again next Thursday, which is January 30th for this show, Equality and Rights for All, because Thursdays uh, are the days scheduled for this show, Equality and Rights for All, and Fridays are the days scheduled for Disabled Reality right here on Spreaker.com. I'm still working on the time frame for each show, ladies and gentlemen. And again, um, if you check out the shows page of my website, you can listen to all of my episodes for each show that I host here on Spreaker.com. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.